Hi everyone, and welcome back to English Podcasters, your safe space for learning easy English through real stories and heart-to-heart conversations. I'm Maya. If you are listening to this right now, maybe you are in your kitchen cooking a meal, or perhaps you are on a long, tiring bus ride home after a busy day. I want you to stop for just a second and take a small, deep breath. Just by pressing play and choosing to spend this time with us, you are already taking a brave step forward for your English journey. Even listening quietly is a form of practice that counts toward your future and your confidence.
Hello everyone, I'm Leo, and I'm so happy to be here talking and learning with you today. Maya, I have to be honest with you. This morning, I was at the park, and I saw a friend from a distance. He was sitting on a bench, and he was staring very hard at the ground. To me, he looked really angry. His face was serious, and his eyebrows were down. I almost walked away because I didn't want to bother him. But when I got closer and we started talking, I realized he wasn't angry at all. He was just trying to solve a very difficult crossword puzzle.
Oh, Leo, that is the perfect real-life example. You saw something with your eyes, but the reality was different. That frozen moment of confusion is something almost every learner faces when they try to describe how people feel. You worry about using the wrong word, is it looks or seems? And in that second of doubt, you might miss a chance to connect with a friend.
Exactly. It felt like a test I wasn't ready for. I didn't want to sound strange, and I definitely didn't want to assume he was angry when he was just focused. And that is why today's episode is so important. We are talking about how people feel and mastering the difference between seems and looks. We want to help you move away from book English and start using life English, the kind of English that feels human, natural, and kind.
I love that. And friends, before we dive into our feelings and impressions for today, we have a small friendly request. If this podcast helps you feel even a little more understood or confident, please subscribe to English Podcasters and click the like button. It really helps our family of learners grow, and it tells us that you want more lessons that help you speak from the heart.
So, Maya, let's start with the basics. I think many beginners use the word looks for every situation, even when it's not just about what they see. How do we feel the difference?
That's the perfect way to ask it, not what is the rule, but how do we feel it? In simple words, looks is usually about appearance, what you can actually see with your eyes. For example, if I say, Leo, you look tired, it is because I can see your heavy eyes or your messy hair. It is based on visual evidence.
Okay, so looks equals the camera in my eyes. I see a dark sky, so I say, the sky looks dark. I see a beautiful cake, so I say, that cake looks delicious.
Exactly, but seems is deeper. Seems is not only about what you see, it is about your impression, your feeling, or your interpretation of a situation. It is about the energy or the vibe someone has. For example, if a friend is very quiet and they aren't talking much, you might say, she seems upset. You aren't just seeing her face, you are feeling her behavior.
Ah, I see. So, seems often includes a little bit of uncertainty. I'm not 100% sure what is happening, but I have a feeling. Like, if I meet a new person and they speak very calmly, I might say, they seem confident.
Perfect. You are describing your impression of their personality, not just their clothes or their face. Let's try a little role play for our listeners, so they can hear these two working together in a real conversation. Imagine we are talking about a mutual friend, Sarah.
I'm ready. Maya, did you see Sarah today? She looked different.
Oh, really? In what way?
Well, she looked tired. I think she had a new haircut, but she seemed a bit distracted when I spoke to her.
I noticed that too. She looks professional in her new job, but she seems a bit stressed because of the long hours.
Notice what happened there, listeners. We used looks for the haircut and the clothes things we could see, but we used seemed for the distraction and the stress things we felt from her behavior.
And did you notice, friends, that we didn't stop to think about grammar tables? We thought about the source of our information. If you are pointing at something you see, use looks. If you are sharing a feeling you have about someone, use seems.
Maya, I have to ask about a common mistake. I often hear people say, the food seems delicious, when they are looking at a picture in a menu.
Yes. While we would understand you, in life English, we usually say, the food looks delicious because you are seeing it. You would use seems if you hadn't seen the food, but everyone was telling you how good it was. Like, that restaurant seems amazing based on the reviews.
Seems amazing. I like that. It shows that English rewards being clear about where your information comes from. Now, friends, let's talk about the mindset of describing feelings. Many learners feel a fear monster when they aren't sure of someone's mood. They stay silent because they don't want to say something wrong or hurt someone's feelings.
Oh, I know that quiet pain, but friends, please hear me. Your English does not need permission to exist. You don't need to be 100% sure to speak. Using soft words like seems actually makes your English more polite and empathetic because you are giving the other person space to explain themselves.
I agree. Instead of saying, you are sad, which is very direct, saying, you seem a little down, feels much kinder. It is an invitation for them to talk.
Precisely. Having a shaking voice or making a small grammar mistake just means you are brave enough to try. That is a superpower. Instead of thinking my English is bad, try saying, my English is improving every day. That small change in your self-talk removes the heavy pressure to be perfect.
Let's look at a situation that involves social problems, or helping a friend who is struggling with something like loneliness or depression. These are heavy topics, and our choice of words matters even more here.
In those moments, simple English is your strongest tool. You can use seems to check in gently. You can say, is everything all right? You seem a bit quiet lately. Using seems shows you are observant and that you care about their energy, not just their appearance.
And if they share a hard story, you can respond with comfort. I see. Really? That sounds hard. Or, I understand. These small phrases make the conversation feel natural and safe.
Exactly. Quality is better than length. Even simple English can express deep understanding. You don't need a big vocabulary. You just need clear intention.
Now, let's talk about a structure that confuses many learners. Looks like versus seems like. Maya, when do we add that little word like?
Great question, Leo. We use looks like or seems like when we are followed by a noun or a full sentence. For example, it looks like rain, or it seems like he is having a bad day.
Ah, so if I just use an adjective, I don't need like. I say, you look tired. But if I use a sentence, I say, it looks like you didn't sleep well.
Exactly, and the difference in feeling is the same. Use looks like for physical evidence you can see. Use seems like for a conclusion based on general information or behavior. For example, if someone doesn't come to work, you say, it seems like he is sick, even if you haven't seen him.
It seems like he is sick. That sounds very professional and logical. Maya, I noticed something else in the transcripts. Sometimes people use the word appears. Is that the same as seems?
Appears is like the formal older brother of seems. It means the same thing, but you hear it more in news reports, business meetings, or formal writing. For example, the company appears to be growing. In daily conversation with friends, seems is much more natural.
So, seems for friends, appears for the office. Got it? Now, friends, if you are having a flat day, a day where English feels like a heavy mountain and you feel like you aren't progressing at all, please listen to this. You are allowed to be tired, but please don't quit.
Progress is not a straight line. Some days you feel like a conversation magician, and some days you feel like your English is sleeping. Both are normal. On your hardest days, don't run, just don't stop. Even if you only learn how to say, you seem happy today, that is a victory for your future.
Don't run, just don't stop. I'm going to repeat that to myself tonight. Maya, can we talk about self-belief? Sometimes I look in the mirror and I think, I look like an English learner, and that makes me feel small.
Oh, Leo, change that thought. Instead of saying, I'm a beginner, say, I am becoming a speaker. Your accent and your pauses are not problems. They are signs that you are growing like a plant. You don't see the growth every day, but one day you realize how tall you have become.
That is so encouraging. I feel my mindset shifting already. Let's do one more role play for our friends listening. This time, let's imagine a work situation where a project is going well.
Okay. Leo, how is the new project going? It looks like you've finished the first part.
Yes, it looks good on paper, but it seems like we might need more time for the final details.
I understand. The client seems happy with our progress so far, though.
That's good to hear. They seemed a bit worried last week, but now they look much more relaxed.
See how we mixed them? We used looks for the physical document and the client's relaxed face. We used seems for the hidden need for more time and our impression of the client's mood. This makes you sound very fluent and observant.
Maya, before we wrap up, let's give our listeners a very simple, logic formula they can use this week to build their confidence.
Good idea. Step 1. Ask yourself, am I using my eyes or my heart? Step 2. If it's eyes, use looks. If it's heart or impression, use seems. Step 3. Use like if you are followed by a full sentence. And step 4. Smile in your voice, even if you are just guessing.
That is a perfect strategy. I'm going to practice that by describing my coffee cup. It looks full, but the steam seems to show it is very hot.
You've got it. We are so incredibly proud of you for staying with us until the end of this episode. It shows you are dedicated to your story and your growth. Remember, your voice matters, even if it shakes.
Now, we have a small challenge for you, an English Podcasters Challenge. In the comments below, describe someone you saw today.
Use both words. For example, my neighbor looks young but he seems very wise. Or, the teacher looks serious but she seems very kind.
Use both words. For example, my neighbor looks young but he seems very wise. Or, the teacher looks serious but she seems very kind.
We read every single comment, and we smile because every sentence you write is a sign of your small courage. Your journey is unique, and we are so happy to be walking it with you.
Take small steps. Use your soft words. Don't be afraid of the silence, and don't be afraid of the mistakes. You are closer than you think, and you are doing better than you realize.
We'll see you in the next episode of English Podcasters. Keep speaking, keep growing, and always remember, even a whisper counts as a victory.
Bye-bye, everyone. Have a wonderful, brave day.
Bye. Remember, you are getting better every single day.